Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to discuss what I consider to be one of the best features I found as a premium member on Tradytics. I didn't know about these capabilities until a few weeks ago, so I wanted to call them out in an effort to get the word out for those who don't know about them. And I'll also take you through some examples on how I like to use them. Before we get started, if you would like to if you would like to get a 10% discount for Tradytics, don't forget to use my referral link in the description. You'll also find referral links for TradingView and Top Step funded trader programs that will give us both discounts. Lastly, if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like and subscribe to help me grow this channel. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So the feature I want to talk about today is the Tradytics Discord bot. Now, this sounds kind of strange, but when you actually get into the Discord channel, which is something I hadn't really done a lot myself, you end up discovering some very, very powerful features. So first off, let's talk about how to do that. So you want to go to the website and you'll want to go to your profile section where you click your name in the top right corner, and you can click on the Discord server button. As long as you have a Discord account that you're logged in with, which is free to make, it will then redirect you to Discord and put you into the Tradytics channel. At that point, there's some initial instructions they want you to read about how to use it, or policies, things like that. And then as a Tradytics premium member, you want to click the unlock premium button. And I recommend doing this on a computer. I mean, it also works on your phone just fine, but you just need to make sure that you're logged into Discord, and it will take you through a CAPTCHA identity verification thing to make sure that you're not a bot, and then it will tie into your Tradytics login. And at that point, it opens up a whole new world of features for Tradytics. It actually expands on and even adds some additional features that you don't get on the website, which I want to get into. So when you unlock those features, you'll be able to go to this Tradytics bots channel, and in the top right corner you can click pin messages, and you'll see instructions in there on how to use the features I'm about to discuss. And there's so many more that I'm not going to cover here. I'm just going to cover some of my favorite ones. To be honest, I haven't even used all of the features yet. I'm still working through them and figuring out how to tie them into my analysis when I'm reviewing a particular stock, or even market Netflow. You actually get additional features with market Netflow that you don't have on the website. So once you can always click that pinned button there to see those features. And then also, any of these channels, there's a notification bell you can hit, because there are some alerts channels that are very useful. But so that's how you can determine how to review the commands. You also see commands that other people are running, which, to be honest, is actually kind of a nice way to get some trade ideas. But so getting into my favorite commands, one of the first ones I always like to check out. Now, this is on the website under the options dashboard. Nothing special here, but if I'm in the Discord, I just end up checking it here as well, is the TR-top flow command. And this shows you the top bullish and bearish flow for the day, and this is a great way to see where big money is focusing their efforts. And you can see the top bullish tickers and the top bearish flow coming in, and it's just, like I said, it's just a great way to get some trade ideas. Another way to get some nice trade ideas, and this is what I really like, and this is what I'm going to call out specifically, is the TR-algo flow divs. So it's basically recent algo flow divergences, and you can learn more about algo flow on the Tradytics website, but it's a really nice tool that basically takes accounts for the chart and the net flow coming in, and the expirations, and some other factors. It uses their machine learning algorithms to say, okay, if the stock price, or the ticker you're examining, the ETF, the stock, if it's moving up but the flow sentiment is moving down, meaning the stock price is bullish but the flow sentiment is bearish, that's considered a divergence, and it will show up here as a bearish divergence, which you can see IWM and QQQ are on this list, which is very interesting. But at the same time, that doesn't mean too much, because a lot of times option flow on those main ETFs is used for hedging, so that's nothing shocking there. But we can see tickers like Snap, Upstart, bearish divergence, despite the fact that they've been moving up this past week. XOPDHI. And what I really like is this bullish divergence on XLE. Now, XLE is a sector ETF for energy, but in that sector ETF, there's a lot of energy stocks that have been moving down recently. So if you don't know, energy as of late has had a massive run up, and these stocks have actually been dropping after this massive run up, doing some sell off, some consolidation, and now it seems like based on this sector flow showing bullish that we might start to see a turnaround. So two names that I love in the XLE sector are XOM, which is Exxon, and OXY, which is Occidental Petroleum. And these stocks, again, have been coming down lately after having a massive run up. But now, despite their stock price coming down, we're starting to see bullish flow starting to come in, which tells us that big money may be actually looking to push these things higher after taking profits on this big run up. So, and who knows? I mean, there could be other factors, right? There could be some sort of big policy change coming down the pipe that's about to cause oil costs to go up even higher, or it could be, there's been this inverse correlation lately with the markets and oil prices. So that might explain why we would see some of these market ETFs like IWM and QQQ start to shift bearish, but energy start to shift bullish. So there's a lot of things, and I just want to give you some quick ideas how once you identify something you like, how you can start looking into it. So in the same exact channel, knowing that, okay, I like XOM and Oxy, I'm going to demo how I run commands against Oxy, OXY. So what I like to do is first start with getting more insight into the algo flow. So you can see algo flow shows us the stock price, and then the flow, which is you can see algo flow is calculated on top of live flow data and is a leading indicator. So that's what I really like about it, is not a lagging indicator. And this kind of goes hand in hand with what I'm going to show you with Netflow, but it's scored using their machine learning algos and things like that. And so we can see here we've had Oxy price moving down, but we've had this huge bullish spike in flow as of late. So hence the divergence that we saw on the previous page. And OXY follows the energy sector that we were looking at previously, XLE. It follows it pretty much like a direct correlation. I don't know the exact correlation, but I want to say it's at least 96% correlation, if not higher. So XLE looks the same as this chart. Same with XOM. They're all tightly correlated now, which is very common when you're looking at tickers and their sector ETFs. So one thing that's nice about this, though, that's different from the website, is you can choose the number of historical days as well as the days till expiration. So one thing I like to do is go into the Discord, and actually I might as well actually pull that up live here, and we can scroll down to the bottom. You can see other users are currently running commands, and we can do TR algo flow, and we can say show me 3 days of cumulative data with expirations up to, 30 days or less expiring, and I forgot the ticker name there, so let me just pop that in. And so we can see when this flow started changing as of 3 days ago, with expirations that are dated 30 days or less. Days till expirations is 30. So, and that's where we see, okay, when it was moving up, we had a divergence where flow was starting to fall off. And then, of course, it caught up. Flow is a leading indicator, so it started dropping down. Then we get a moving up together, moving up together, moving up together. This was that massive run up that we had recently. And then all of a sudden, flow kept moving up, but OXY started selling off. And I'm speculating here, but I believe that this is smart money taking profits and dropping this thing down, getting ready for their next push. So the next thing I like to do when I'm researching a ticker is in that same channel, use TR Netflow. And again, this is the same Netflow that you see when you look at the options dashboard of a ticker, but you get some additional control over how you want to view that. So you say symbol, number of historical days cumulatively, days till expiration, And as you just saw, running the same commands is 3 days historically with 30-day expirations contracts, because I'm more interested in the short dated stuff, because I'm trying to figure out here if OXY is a play that's worth taking in the short term, meaning over the next week or two. Is this a play that I can catch right before it breaks out and then hold it for a few days, a day, maybe even a day, depending on how heavy it breaks out, and get a real nice juicy day trade out of it? And if you want to see how that's actually done, how I handled that on the chart, I did make a video about this, how I found a play with XOM using TradingView, and how you go ahead and watch that video if you want to see how to go about playing that on the chart and catching a massive run. But and I'll leave a link in the description to that video. So you can see here, Netflow is showing us that puts have been flat. So there's not really any very little new put buying or put selling. So they're just flat. But all of everything that's been driving this ticker in terms of options flow has been related. I'm sorry, in terms of options flow has been related to calls. So this is a lot of call selling. Now this was the divergence where it still moved up, but then the call selling ended up catching up. We see the stock price moving down, and then call buying starts back up. And then we start getting into heavy call buying, and I'm quite convinced that over the next week or two, OXY is going to start catching up to this divergence. As long as we don't see any major changes, right? This is something that I plan on checking on every single night. If I didn't see the move that morning or that day that I'm looking for, then I'll review the same data the following night to see if anything changed. But we can see here that it does look like calls are divergent from the price, so there is a lot of call buying that's happening. And so that's the beauty of Netflow. It makes it really easy to visualize this stuff. So one of the other commands that I liked, and one thing before I move on from Netflow, everyone that's been watching my channel or using Tradytics or following them on Twitter should know about Market Netflow. It's one of the best tools that they offer. I mean, that's the whole reason I initially got my subscription to Tradytics, and then I ended up learning about all the other amazing features they have after the fact. But Market Netflow is the entire net flow cumulatively for the entire market, meaning all tickers that are not ETFs, which is fantastic for if you're trading SPY. So you can see here you have the SPY stock price, and you can see as calls across the entire market move up, the SPY stock price ends up moving up with them, especially with puts being flat. So there wasn't any real bearish activity in terms of put buying, but there was a ton of bullish activity in terms of call buying, and that's what we can see here. And that's again across the entire market, and that since the S&P 500 tracks the top 500 tickers in the market, chances are a lot of this flow is coming in for those tickers, which helps drive the S&P 500. So you can actually check this on the site, and you get an additional feature on the Discord bot that you do not get on the website, which is specifying days till expiration. So if you go in, if you're looking at Market Netflow on the website, you can go back and you can set your days cumulatively. So I want 3 days or 5 days, and you can also change the momentum calculation. But one thing, and you can set levels here too, which is nice, but one thing that you can't do is you can't say, okay, show me the short dated expirations. But if you go into the Discord, you can say Netflow market, show me 3 days cumulatively with expirations dated 30 days or less. And the bot will actually takes a second to populate this because there is a good amount of data that is crunching, but you can see it pops it up. Now these are expirations that are going to expire within the next 30 days, which is very interesting, especially if you're doing intraday trading on SPY. You may not necessarily care about longer term expirations. I mean, maybe you do. There's good reason for it. They do impact the market as well, but it is nice to see the short term dated stuff to see, okay, try to get an idea of maybe this bull run is going to be sustained or not, things like that. So we can see expirations 30 days or less. This is how they look. So that is a nice additional feature that you get there. Now, as I continue to investigate OXY, I like to look at open interest just to see where the most amount of contracts are being held, which you can do with TR-OI, and then the symbol. And then this is another thing. You can see here I specified expiration date up to July 29th, 2022. And this is how the open interest looks here, so I can see where the most positions are being held. And you can see here it's right at looks like 52.50 if I had to guess. My screenshot isn't great there, but you can see a large amount of puts. Now when these expire off, that could also give way to a move higher, but actually maybe not, because that's the thing about open interest. You don't know if these puts were bought to open or sold to open. So based off the net flow and everything that we saw previously, then this is speculation because I don't know for sure, but my guess would be that these were sold puts. So somebody might be selling the $55 puts heavily, which is basically a very bullish sign, and that's what I would have to guess looking at this chart based on the other things that we've seen. So one other thing I like to do as well to help me assess a ticker, one of my other additional favorite features, you can see the dark pool levels, so TRDP levels for OXY. And if you watch my dark pool video, you'll know how to analyze this stuff. But without getting into it too deep here, we can see there's big levels at 57.33 and 55.44, which are going to act as support, right? So what I'd like to see if I'm looking for a bullish move, I'd like to see not only these levels to get broken through, but I'd like to see us pull, if we do move through them, let's say we gap over them, pull back down into these price ranges, and then look for confirmation that we're going to hold using volume price analysis, take my entries, and then because there's not a lot of major dark pool money in between these gaps, similar to volume profile, these gaps will likely get moved through pretty easily. And it's based off the dark pool levels, it looks like if we hold 57.33 right around there, and we get that big move that we're looking for, we might get a massive run up to 68, 65 before we encounter any sort of real resistance where we start seeing big money start selling off that big run up. So very interesting data points here. On my OXY chart, I have marked all four of these levels where the big dark pool transactions took place, and we know if we get a pullback and a move higher into these, that would be a great entry point. Now, another thing that makes it really, really easy, that cuts down my time when I'm assessing a ticker and I'm doing the chart analysis portion of it. So after I find names that I want to look at, and I look at their net flow and their open interest and their algo flow and news events and other factors like that, next thing I do is look at the chart, and this helps me cut back on doing how long it takes the chart to chart out the levels. Is in the Tradytics Discord bot, you can say TRSR levels OXY, and I can say show me it on the minute chart, the hourly chart, the daily chart, or the weekly chart. And I actually do all four because what I consider typically daily and weekly levels typically tend to be stronger than hourly or levels on the minute chart, of course. So I like looking at all of them and seeing, okay, where are my strongest levels going to be? And I mark those, the weekly and daily, with different colors that indicate that these are stronger levels. And then on the hourly and minute time frames, I use different colors to indicate, okay, that these are from the hourly time frame, these are from the minute time frame, because I consider the minute time frame to be weaker levels. I mean, if they line up, if they correspond with, of course, a higher time frame, then that's not always the case. But I want to know, okay, when I'm doing intraday trading and I'm watching my 3-minute chart, is the level that I'm holding right now, is it a level from the daily chart, or is it a level from the hourly chart? And vice versa. If I'm going up, moving up, we get this big move up and we start pushing into resistance, is it a big level from the dark pools that's notable? Is it a big level from the weekly chart? What level is this? So like you can see, if we push past these dark pool levels, we start getting to 754, and of course on the weekly 70.86, right around that area. I know. Okay, if I'm not already out of this thing, I'm 100% taking like 90% of my positions off and maybe leaving like one runner or something. But just this makes it very easy to quickly get the levels, plot them on your chart, and move on to assess your next ticker. Another thing I like doing is looking at the heat maps through TR Flow heat map. Again, this is on the website, which with the options dashboard, you can look at it there. But you can say, show me the heat map for the day or the heat map for the past 5 days for the past week. And you can see, in order to create this heat map, we take the top 5 strikes and expiration dates and show you the net premiums on bullish contracts minus bearish ones. And so we can get an idea of all the net premiums. And you can see there's a lot of very bullish premiums that are dated out to January 2023, which no surprise there. The expectation is that oil prices continue to rise, especially once the midterms are over. Not being political, just being, honest. Once the midterms are over, it's likely that oil costs will continue to skyrocket because they're not going to be tapping into reserves anymore, which has already been stated. So I'm guessing that's why there's these long-dated contracts out here, because smart money knows this. So anyway, you can also start using, AI predictions, which is really nice. You can do TR-all for Oxy or whatever ticker you're assessing, and you can see in terms of swing versus options versus intraday price action, how the AI feels about the ticker. So you can see the AI feels that the ticker is currently slightly bullish. Just to get a little extra confirmation, you can also run TR projections symbol, and this will give you, using Monte Carlo simulations, this will give you in previous historical price movements, it will give you a simulation on how the price is expected to move. And it's kind of interesting because even if you look at the bearish simulations here, it's still expected to move up. So I mean, if we get the most bullish move, we could see that we're going all the way up to 70, which I could see that happening over the course of the next 30 days. This actually does kind of line up with what I'm thinking based on everything I've looked at for energy and oil stocks in particular. So again, this just helps give that extra confirmation. And there's so many other commands that I really cannot stress. Like, you need to get in there and review the stuff, because it's just such a powerful way to not only get a lot of data very fast rather than clicking through the website and things like that, but also there are some features that aren't on the website. And so I really wanted to call that out. Now, other notable channels that are fantastic for getting trade ideas, and not just for options either. I mean, there's crypto stuff in here, and even if you're just like building long-term portfolios, there's AI suggestions in there for AI portfolios. There's all kinds of really amazing stuff. But if you're looking for trade ideas, I mean, you have important news, you have analyst downgrades and upgrades. So one thing I discussed in my VPA series is that when you see an accumulation or a distribution phase, smart money, typically before they move that stock, they're looking for some sort of catalyst. So oftentimes when I'm looking at these, I'm always trying to spot the catalyst, right? What's a catalyst that could be used in order to send a stock into to start moving higher or lower, right? And so one thing, even just putting together this video, I noticed if we look at their Bullseye tool, which is an AI tool for calling out notable flow, as well as some large option sweeps came through, where essentially it's a large amount of options buying for they're just sweeping through a whole bunch of orders, large blocks of orders basically. And I'm not giving a great definition here, but I suggest going on Investopedia and looking it up if you're not familiar with sweeps. But very interestingly, and there's whole channels dedicated to both golden sweeps and just large sweeps in generals, but we actually saw the bearishness on coin is astonishing. So Bullseye is calling it out, but also we can see, and that's for the expiration this week, but even longer term, there's some sweeping orders where puts are getting bought. I shouldn't say long term, but out to September. that are very bearish on coin, and that there should be no surprise there, because if you've been keeping up with the news, coin is pretty much on the verge of filing for bankruptcy, and crypto has just been getting hammered very badly during this bear market that we've been having. And this is interesting to me because coin is certainly another play. I didn't talk about it here. I was just focusing on one ticker, which is OXY, which I plan to assess in the near future, and probably will end up taking this week. But coin is another one that's on that list. And I found that through these other channels on the Tradytics Discord. So anyway, that's all I wanted to cover. I highly suggest you get into that Discord if you're not already in there, and you start looking through these features. They are truly a game changer, and I hope that helped you out. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment, and I appreciate your support.